San Diego, 2009. I walked into my first college class. The classroom was smaller than I thought it'd be. But then again, USD was a small private school and not a massive state school like in all the movies. The Stone family can only be what is described as pathologically punctual. Even when I tried to be fashionably late, I still ended up being the first one everywhere. And today was no different. The sea of empty chairs overwhelmed me. If I sat in front, I would look like a teacher's pet. If I sat in the back, I wouldn't be able to read the board. It was time to strengthen my eye contact prescription, but getting thicker glasses was not high on my list of priorities. I settled on a seat a few rows from the front, not quite in the middle. The class slowly filled with students, and my heart raced with anticipation. The class was Intro to Literature. I rarely didn't have a book in my hand growing up. I adored them. I could read an entire Harry Potter book in a day and was the fastest reader I knew. I became obsessed with stories and couldn't stop until I knew the ending. What's that they say? How you are with one thing, you are with everything? A teacher wearing a plaid maroon colored suit and matching hat entered the room. He set his briefcase on the podium and shuffled through his papers. A moment after the bell finally rang, a tall boy with dark hair and sparkling white teeth strode in. I'd never seen a boy with teeth as white as mine. He wore a plain black t-shirt and flattering black jeans. He had an air to his walk like he'd been in this room 1,000 times. Like he could walk into any room and feel like it was his. Funny, I'd never met someone else like that. I wondered if his confidence was authentic or performative like mine. The closer he got, the more I realized how good-looking he was. His hazel eyes glistened against his tan skin, and I quickly realized the only empty seat left in the class was the one directly next to me. I felt myself getting nervous as he headed toward me. Why was I nervous? I had a boyfriend. I didn't realize how many times a day I'd have to remind myself of that. The mysterious boy sat, and I could feel the space he took up beside me, almost like he was emitting a slight heat that only I could pick up on. Hello, class. Welcome to Intro to Literature. My name is Professor Brown, and our first book of the year will be Wuthering Heights. The boy beside me scoffed so discreetly, I'm not entirely sure it happened. As the class went on, I snuck a few glances and realized he hardly took any notes. Not compared to my word-for-word notes. I had just short of a photographic memory, so the better my notes, the easier it was to ace tests. Time flew by and the bell rang. My first class was officially over, and I loved it. I hoped they'd all be this interesting. They wouldn't be. I packed up my things and headed out when I heard, "Hey," and felt a gentle hand on my shoulder. I turned around and was met by hypnotic Hazel. "You drop this," the boy said, handing me my school ID. "You're going to need that to use your dining dollars." I reached for the ID, but the second before my hand contacted the piece of plastic, he jerked it away from me and studied it. "Spencer Stone," he said in a velvety tone. "Your parents must expect you to be famous with a name like that." "Hardly. They know I'll be," I smirked, snatching the ID from his noticeably soft hands. "And you are?" He laughed in amusement. "I'm Hunter." "Your parents must expect you to stalk a lot of prey with a name like that," I said. Hunter leaned in and whispered, "Hardly. They know I will." I gulped.